you have dreams, ambitions, and things you actually want to do. Maybe things you want to have. Maybe you want to have that supercar. Maybe you want to have that wife, that girlfriend, a bunch of kids. Maybe you want to have a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, it only comes down to two different things. One, how you do things. And second, how you operate to do those things. Now, what do I mean by this? I want to make it this as simple as possible to make sure that you guys understand what I'm talking about. And yes, for those who are avid viewers of the channel, I am in a different environment because there are people right now, like over there. You might see over there some guys on the roof over there. They're basically just cleaning all the windows. So right now I'm on the balcony of my apartment, so that way I'm still kind of outside but not really. So who cares? But basically the message I wanted to give out today and talk about was the fact that people need to dream less and do more. What do I mean by dream less and do more? There are two kinds of people in today's society. There are the people that constantly just do more, they act all the time, they do a bunch of stuff. And those are the kinds of people that actually get what they want out of life. And I don't necessarily like to brag about what I do and what I'm doing and like how I do it and everything, but I know that I'm a part of that category by the simple fact that every single day, day in and day out, like I'm there. Like I'm at the gym every single day, at least 30 minutes to an hour. I'm eating good food every single day. I'm making sure that I'm sleeping enough every single day. I'm making sure that I'm working every single day on my business. I'm posting these videos for you guys. I am doing all these sorts of stuff, like all these things. And I know that I am day in and day out learning how to become better every single day. Like boom, 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 just repeat constantly, like boom, boom. It's been like, I think over a month now that I've been posting on this channel. I'm gonna be starting to test out a few different like more high quality thumbnails that I'm gonna be editing out in CapCut or like Canva or whatever. So that way you guys can let me know what you think about them. If it's better for me to just keep it raw, no thumbnails, or if I should just do some thumbnails from time to time. I think it might be a bit better for me to do some thumbnails because I know that some people do care and do like when somebody puts more effort into producing these kinds of videos. So that's what I'm talking about. And so what I would like to talk about more today is this. The work. What does it take to actually get a bunch of work done? What does it take to become the kind of person that gets a lot of stuff done instead of just dreaming all the time? Now, what do I mean by dreaming? I don't mean dreaming in the literal sense in like just going to bed and dreaming. What I mean by dreaming is daydreaming. Is what I mean is like thinking about what it is you actually want to do but never do it. I used to flat with like 3 other people in another house. I'm currently in Auckland or whatever. And as you guys know, and maybe like roughly a year ago, I talked about this yesterday. And so basically I used to flat with 3 other people, and the head tenant was a sad drunk, which was pretty fucking annoying when you actually think about it. But it allowed me to teach myself like a couple different important lessons. So number one, what I noticed was the key differentiator between me and him. It was that I had a purpose, I had drive, I had motivation, like internal and external. So I knew what it is I actually wanted, how to get there, and like how to work on myself every single day to make steps, like at least 1 step a day, if not 2, 3 or more, in order to achieve what it is I actually wanted. And so when I compared myself to him, what I noticed the key differentiator was purpose. And so the fact that he didn't have a purpose and he felt like completely like lost. Basically, it was the simple fact that he had a few things, he had a few dreams, he had a few ideas of what he wanted his life to look like, but he wasn't actively working on it, because what he was doing basically was on a day-to-day basis, he was just coursing through, like fucking doing whatever. And the problem with this is he ended up playing like video games here, scrolling here. He used to do like a bunch of different things, to be perfectly honest, that I wouldn't be proud of myself if I did. Like, he used to drink energy drinks all the time. He used to like stay in bed all the time. He used to sleep in late. He used to walk around the house in a fucking robe or whatever. And I'm just like, bro, like, what the fuck? Alright? So, to be perfectly honest, I'm not hating on this guy. I'm not shitting on him. But what I'm talking about is, just for comparison's sake, he is the perfect picture of a dreamer. And I am the perfect picture, well, I'm the picture of somebody who takes action on a day-to-day basis. So, by the simple fact that was the two different types of people, I could sense that I was making progress and he probably wasn't, like, at all. Like, he was like, oh yeah, this business idea and da. One time he came to me and he said, I'd like to start reselling phone cases, and I used to have this phone case selling business where I used to 3D print them, and I'd really want you to help me see if we can do something together with this business, because I know you do marketing and all that sort of stuff. And I told him, like, bro, like, I no, like, no. And why did I tell him no? Because he's not the kind of person I would associate myself with. If you're an action taker, you cannot work with a dreamer. Like, that does not fit together. Like, it's like putting a fucking square or a line in a fucking circle. It doesn't work. Like, what the fuck? So, that's what I'm talking about. If you often find yourself thinking about things you actually want to do, thinking about things you actually want to achieve, want to obtain, any kind of stuff, like material possession, relationships, literally anything you want, whatever it is. If you do not take action on making progress to achieve these kinds of things, then in that case you're just going to end up being the same person you are currently, and you're never going to change, you're never going to improve. So at the end of the day, you're going to look at the mirror, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror, and you're going to be like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? And of course, you'd resort to drinking, to drugs, to video games, to fucking doing nothing all day. You're just eating shit food, you know? Comfort food, junk food. So yeah, that's the main thing. So how do you make the switch from being a dreamer to being a more of a focused, more of a determined action taker? Now, I used to be more of a dreamer at a certain degree. Usually, and in a certain person, you get a certain part of the person that is half, or like, it's either half and half, or it's like a certain percentage, like let's say 30% dreamer, 70% action taker, or 60% dreamer, 40% action taker, or at the worst outcome, over 90% dreamer, 10% action taker. That's probably the worst thing. It's just basically like you're just taking action whenever you feel like it, and in that case, like, you're never going to get anywhere. So what you need to do is you need to understand first. I made a lesson in a video at the start of this channel. Well, not the start, but when I started posting videos like 30 days ago. So if you scroll back 30 videos ago, you should find a video that's titled something along the lines of oh yeah, nobody's gonna come save you. Nobody's gonna come save you. Nobody's gonna come help you. And you need to be the kind of guy that takes hold of your life and then just fucking makes a path for yourself, and then goes and achieves what he actually wants to achieve. That's what I was talking about. And so if you don't do this, you're going to end up staying and remaining where you are right now, and you're never going to make any progress, and you're never going to be the kind of man that your ancestors and your bloodline is proud to have as their last descendant. I personally can like pull out a lot of motivation internally from my ancestors, where I come from, my family, all of these great, beautiful things that I have, because I know a lot about them, and I know where I come from, and I know that the people before me were warriors, and I'm the 29th generation of my family that has been recorded in history. Everything's recorded for my family, which is something I'm extremely grateful for. And so I'm the 29th generation of the bloodline from my dad upwards. And so it's funny because it's the eldest son of the eldest son of the eldest son of the eldest son of the eldest son. So like at the end of the day, I am the last resort that my bloodline has. If I stop and I don't have any kids, my bloodline just fucking erased out of the history books, you know? Like I don't have any siblings, so it's my duty, it's my responsibility to do something about it. And so I think I found pride in being the kind of guy that takes action and that takes responsibility and that actually puts his head down and sacrifices himself for his family so that he can actually provide and protect and actually be the kind of high value man that can bring benefits to the family unit. And personally, I have and this is tied into your goals as well as in the future. I personally have a very strong connection with my family, and I have a very strong connection with the fact that I know what kind of man I am and I want to be, and I know what kind of kids I want and the kind of kids I want to raise, and I know what kind of wife I want and what kind of relationships I want, romantically. So since I've defined all of that, I know the end. I have the end in mind, and so I know what I'm looking for, and I know where I'm going. And so maybe over the course of the next few years that might change a bit more, but when you actually think about it, I've got a lot more to work on. I'm not making enough money as it is to be the kind of guy that can provide super easily. I want to get to a point where I'm making 5-6 figures a month, if not a year, at least, at the bare minimum. And I want to just extend that as high as possible, as fast as possible, so that way when I hit maybe 30 years old, I'm 23 right now, if I hit 30, I want to be able to be financially independent from literally everybody. I want to be working with a bunch of different people. I want to be able to provide value to people. I want people to come to me and ask me for favors because they know how skilled and how good at what I'm doing I am. So that's what I'm talking about. So how do you make the switch from being a dreamer to an action taker? Well, the number one thing is understanding where you want to go. Having the end in mind, having that purpose, that goal that you define is super important in this case, because it's going to allow you to set it's like the horizon, right? The horizon seems infinite, but you can see the sun or the moon or whatever, and that is going to be your guiding light towards the future when you're riding onwards. And even though you might never achieve what it is you set out to achieve in the first place, you might get much closer to it by the simple fact that you've walked a giant distance to get there. And so I do believe that it is important for every single one of us, if we want to become more of an action taker, to define that goal, to define that purpose, to define our objectives, and set even small checkpoints in order to get there is still super important. For instance, I remember when I was in the gym and I started going to the gym, I wanted to just get a six-pack, and until I got a six-pack, I would not stop going to the gym. And now I've started defining my six-pack, but I'm not where I want to be yet. So now I've gotten new things that I actually want to get good at. For instance, I want to be able to do handstand push-ups. I want to be able to do super intense calisthenics. I want to be able to do like cool looking stuff. I want to be able to be the kind of guy in the gym that everybody looks up at and be like, and it's like, wow, like that guy's super impressive. That feels good to me. Like that's what I want. So it's changed. Of course, it's changed over the course of over like 4 years so far that I've started going to the gym. And so what I suggest with you is not necessarily waiting until you can fully define what it is you actually want. It's just define what it is you want right now and then go chase that, and then in the future that might change over the course of time. That's fine. So that would be like something pretty important. That would be number one. So goal, purpose, having a drive and motivation internally, not externally. So that way you know where you're going. So that would be number one. The number two thing is just, when it feels like shit, do it anyway. When you need to get the reps in. You need to get the consistency in. You need to do what feels like shit. Even if it feels like shit, you need to do it. I remember when I started my business, I did a lot of in-person outreach. So what I used to do is I used to just go on Google Map, look at all of the businesses in my area, and then just go there in person and then have a chat with the person. Like there, it might be a desk receptionist, it might be the business owner, it might be so-and-so, whatever. And so I used to talk to them, and I used to try and persuade them like, hey, I'm like learning digital marketing. I've noticed you were doing this, and this. I can help you, and I can have a chat with you. I can like find things that you can improve in order to achieve what it is you want to achieve. I can map out your goals, and then I can help you get there. And that is not how you sell a business owner, by the way. Like that doesn't really work. What you need to do is you need to make yourself, and then in this case it's just learning sales, right? So it's just putting yourself in the position of, hey, I noticed you have this problem, this is how you solve it, I can do this for you if you want. That's it. Like you need to position yourself as you are the solution to their problems in order to achieve X goal they have. But regardless, that's another subject, more business related. So to transition more from dream state from dreamer state rather, to action taker state, what you need to be doing as well is not only consistent action, defining your goal and purpose, and also tying that into your identity. That's pretty important. You need to also make your environment helpful. What do I mean by this? You need to cut out everything that is not going to help you. You need to cut out the things that you know aren't going to necessarily push you towards putting more hours towards working on that goal. Putting more hours in is probably the number one asset you have right now as a young man is time and energy. So you need to invest that wisely as much as possible into developing something for yourself, so that way you can reap the rewards in the future, and you can become that action taker that fulfills all their goals basically. And for the people that have listened up to this point and say like, no, actually I just want to play video games all day and whatever, and I want to chill out and I want to do this and that, and in that case, like, whatever, bro, like I have no sympathy for you. You can just do whatever you want. In that case, I don't even know why you'd be listening to me in the first place, but it is what it is. So yeah, regardless of who it is, if you love me or you hate me, you're still a fan if you're watching the content. And regardless of who it is, I appreciate every single one of you guys watching the videos. Like, it means a lot to me, like having people like genuinely like watching all the way through. I think I looked at my analytics. We've got like, I think I made like 30k views in the past 30 days. So it's like 1k view per day approximately. And I think right now, like, it's starting to ramp up with the long form content I'm developing like every single day, and I think that's a good thing. Like slowly, like even if it's a bit, it's a bit unfiltered, it's a bit amateur, you know, whatever. Who gives a shit? Just record stuff, like speak to the camera, give some advice, you know? So how do you transition to become a dreamer, to become an action taker from a dreamer state? So number one, purpose. Define your goals, define your identity, who you are as a person. Make sure you tie that into your goal setting. And then number two, make sure that you are taking consistent action. You are doing things that feel like shit, and doing it as much as you can, as long as you can. Like for instance, I'd go to the gym like 30 minutes to an hour a day, and even if I felt like shit, I barely slept today, even if I ate I didn't eat that much today, even if I fucking whatever, even if somebody in my family died, even if somebody is having a hard time, even if I am having a hard time, doesn't matter. I just have to do it, you know? Like it's setting aside that discipline. Probably number three, the environment. And let's go on the environment first. So number one, you need to make sure your environment, let's roll that back. Number one, purpose, identity, all of that, goal setting. Number two, putting in consistent action, making sure that you're pushing forward even if it feels like shit. Number three, environment. So making sure your environment is clean, making sure your environment is filled with the right type of people that will push you up, do more, instead of pushing you down when you do too much. I'll say, oh, you can chill out, just come have fun with us, come have a drink, come have this, settle down, chill out. No, like, bro, I have more important stuff to do than chilling out, bro, okay? So that's number three. And number four is having the discipline to do stuff on a long period of time. I've been working for the past 4 years. I've got an app on my phone. I might be able to show you one day. But this app has tracked over the past, I think it's 1,200 and something days that I've been logging into that app every single day, tracking my progress, filling out my checklist, making sure that I'm checking out every single box every single day over the past 1,200 plus days. Like that's basically 1, 2, 3, almost 4 years. Almost 4 years. So you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean in terms of raw discipline. And you start to become this action taker when all of the bonus things start getting extremely boring. Like every single time I boot up a video game, I can't play for more than 10 minutes. Like the most amount of time I could play a video game recently was probably like just under an hour. And it's like I will use that as a reward at the end of the day when I have I've worked for 12 hours straight, or 14 hours or 15 hours straight, and I have maybe 1 hour to 2 hours before I go to sleep. In that case, what I'll do is I might reward myself by watching a video, watching a show, watching something that I really wanted to watch today. Like for instance, at the start of my day, I might find something that I really want to watch, and I'll watch it later at a time and a period where I have done everything and I've cleared off of all of my tasks for the day, and I can reward myself and I can sit down and I can be like, I've done a lot of work today, this is everything that I've done, and now I can reward myself with something that I would enjoy a bit more. So in that case, I would maybe play an hour of video games, maybe every couple of days or so. That's pretty much it, to be perfectly honest. At a super extreme amount, if I do play video games a bunch, it would probably be max 1 hour at a time, and 1 hour, I used to do 1 hour morning, 1 hour midday, 1 hour evening, and now I'm just maybe 30 minutes midday I might boot up something, and I might be I have a tiny bit of time to think about if I wanted to do that or not, and then I'm just whatever, I don't really want to do it anymore, and I have a bunch of work to do, so I just go back to work. Or in the evening, in that case, I'll reward myself with maybe playing with some friends, maybe having I like to tie in video games not just to chill all by myself, but to have fun with friends, because the grind in order to achieve those goals of yours, is super lonely. Like, it can get lonely if you don't have that social gap filled, because you're going to be cutting out a bunch of people that don't necessarily match your standards. And in that case, that's basically what I did. So I cut out so many people that I didn't have any social interaction anymore, so I had to find that somewhere else. And so I remember when I started learning business and like isolating myself more from people that didn't really matter, what I ended up doing is I ended up still playing a couple of video games every day, just to have that social interaction on a day-to-day basis, because I didn't have that as much as I have. Like, I have an okay amount now, so I don't necessarily need to play a bunch of video games anymore. Like, that's not the priority. So that's what I'm talking about. And so what I think people should do more of is make sure that, number one, you have a purpose, a goal, and a drive to know roughly where you're going. Number two, you need to have the discipline in order to achieve said goals and to put in consistent amount of time over a long period of time. And number three, you need to make sure your environment's good. You need to make sure the people that you're frequenting are good. You need to make sure that your environment helps you push towards that goal instead of working against it. That's the most important thing. And so discipline's a part of it. And so yeah. So I think that pretty much sums it up, like how you can transition. And it's gonna take some time, bro. Like don't think it's gonna be click of the fingers and boom, you're an action taker. No. Like, personally for me, it took me years and years. Like, it's been 4 years already since I started my journey. And over the course of these long 4 years, I have noticed like huge changes in myself, like in terms of like what I do, how I do it, all of these things. Like, even when, like, I just talked about video games for a bit there, and every time I boot up a video game, I feel stressed because I'm not working and I'm choosing something else, and I feel shit. Like, I feel like, what's the word? I feel like it's not shame, it's, I feel guilty playing video games now, because I know I have a responsibility and a duty towards the people I love and trust in the future and today. So for me, it makes more sense to invest my time properly instead of just being like, oh, I really want to be selfish and play video games right now. Like, sure, reward yourself from time to time, spend your time accordingly with the people you love especially, and yeah, just have a good time, bro, because we're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time. So with that said, I appreciate every single one of you guys watching the videos until the end, as always. Happy to have a conversation in the comments. If you want to leave something, that would mean a lot to me. If you want to just ask some question, get some advice, I'll give you some feedback if you want. If you have a question about business, relationships, getting a structured schedule, becoming more productive with your time, becoming more energetic, getting good in the gym, all that sort of stuff, feel free to ask some questions. I'm happy to help you out. And with that said, I'll post every single day. So I see you tomorrow. Have a great day.